Welcome to the next piece of the timeline. Today we're going to discuss 1949. Okay, 1949 was pretty interesting. The major topic that we're going to discuss is Title One of the National Acts Amendments of 1949. It's more commonly known as the Housing Market Act of 1949. But as the official name states, an amendment means it's something that's adjusted, not new, reset, or it's a redirection that we're taking off of something that was already established. Okay. So basically, there was a lot of instability still in the housing market. We are still recovering from the last World War. Veterans were receiving some benefits, as we mentioned last video. Some were not. So there was just a very unstable time in the housing market. So the promise was, hey, let's stabilize it. Let's stabilize the entire industry. Let's make it fair and let's make it affordable. It's really the big crisis here in 1949. And they've been dealing with this for years. So the result of these decisions, they end up coming up with the Truman's Fair New Deal, and again, the Housing Act of 1949. So it's a result of a lot of different things, as I was mentioning, but basically what happened now is the 30-year mortgage becomes the new standard. Okay. You wonder how this becomes the new standard. The things behind the scenes that have happened during this time frame. The FHA made the 30-year mortgage standard. Fannie Mae made it liquid. The GI Bill made it political. And then the Housing Act made it law. So it was a slight shift. Again, each time we were trusting another governing body, a higher authority. But this got me thinking. I was in the mortgage industry for about 5 years. And the deeper I go, the more things I find out. I think it's very interesting. But I was unaware that there was a norm before the 30-year mortgage. More commonly nowadays, it's 30 years, or if you're feeling yourself, you can do 15, maybe 10. But the standard before was 5. Ooh, the standard before. I already gave you guys a sneak peek. Well, that's actually the next part of this presentation. Let's see what actually did we have before. All right, so before 1949, what the housing industry looked like, mortgages were short. Like I gave you that sneak peek. They're 5 to 10 years. Down payments beforehand were actually 40 to 50%. Now that might seem like a lot, but continue gaining context. Number 3, moral character was more important than your credit score, more important than your FICO. Who you were as a person, your human value over your credit score. And another requirement was you had to make 1/4 of the home's value annually. Man, oh man, how difficult would it be for us to keep up with how these house values are increasing versus what our actual incomes are? Just having these standards alone, I don't know if anybody would have a house. But if you think about it, with a structure like this, instead of buying a roof with debt, you start the game with equity. 40 to 50% of it, that changes the game. And no wonder the standard was 5 to 10 years, because you had to pay 1/4. You were making 1/4 of the home value. It wasn't unreasonable. You with this system, you prove that you can afford the home and not just borrow for it. So very, very interesting things that happened in 1949. Like I said, it was a slow creep, but this is where I feel like everything came together. Now, I do want to give you a sneak peek. This actually is not in the paper, but I've spoken about it previously. I do have a product that rivals the standard that we had before. Maybe not quite as powerful, but very interesting. Definitely, I believe, more powerful than the current standard. So I'll give you guys a sneak peek. If you want me to do a deep dive, I need at least 20 likes and 15 comments. If not, we're going to keep going down the timeline. But yeah, this is something that we do offer, mortgage-free life. The company average right now, after we sit down and help an individual, if they qualify, their average payoff of their mortgage is 7 to 12 years. In doing so, they're actually saving monthly on their annual expenses, not on their mortgage alone, but their annual monthly expenses is lower. You will be building 2 assets at once with this product. Okay, you'll be building a life insurance policy, which grows over time, that has built-in protection and guarantees, which is something you can't find in your typical investment industry. And you're paying off your house extremely, extremely fast. So that's the other asset that you're building, the equity within the home ownership, right? So here's a quick testimonial. A client came to me. He started out with around 30,000. I believe it was a little bit less. This was a few years ago. When he came to me, he had 28 years left on his mortgage. He did qualify for the program. He saw the value in what it is that we do. And he ended up leaving with the 2 asset payoff year. Now it's 9 years. We chopped off, what is that, 19 years? He's saving money monthly. His 30,000 will grow. I believe it was estimated over 400,000. I know it was over 400,000. Don't remember the actual number, but that's in his contract. And then he'll be mortgage free by 40 years old. So if you guys want more details of how this actually works, like I said, 20 likes, 15 comments. And if you're ready to get off the couch and go from this financial literacy wave that we're in, this financial analysis paralysis, and ready to move into financial freedom, go ahead and tap in. Like I said, see you guys soon on the next one.
No, I can't boast, I ain't do it myself. I'm stand by the spirit, I'm something like Mel. I'm a son saved by grace. Couldn't pay, so he kindly took my place. So I've fallen slow. I will call his name. I know his grace will cover up my shame.